and welcome to Season 1, Race 10 of my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. We are here in Belgium for the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa, of course, and some interesting qualifying results as Lewis Hamilton, that's not interesting, he got pole, but we qualified second. Actually, for a while, Daniel Ricciardo was challenging for pole, but he ended up third. And then just generally looking through the running order, we got some interesting results here. Bottas fourth, Verstappen fifth, Lando Norris sixth, both Aston Martins in the top 10. Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz outside of the top 10. So some interesting happenings here. My teammate did a decent job, qualified P19. Solid. Considering his experience level. So, unfortunately, the race itself is not going to be sunshine and rainbows. And I mean that both figuratively and literally, because the forecast for the race is calling for rain the entire distance. So this will be a fully wet Belgian Grand Prix. No dry running whatsoever, which is not ideal. I mean, I'd rather, if I'm doing a race and it's going to be rain, I'd rather be dry to wet or wet to dry, as opposed to being a full wet race. And since it's Spa, that means the race is going to be even longer to finish because, let's take a look here. I got some discounts on some different parts, but I forget which ones they were. I know engine and durability mainly. That might have been one of them. That might have been one of them too. But we're actually gonna not purchase a upgrade yet. Because I do have a major upgrade coming up for the Dutch Grand Prix, and I want to be sure that in the case that it fails, I have enough R&D points to cover for it, essentially. So let's see what the Belgian Grand Prix has in store.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher in 1992. Spa-Francorchamps then, a 4.35-mile tour of the Ardennes countryside, with 9 right corners and 10 left corners, giving us a grand total of 19. Average lap speeds in the dry can reach about 145 miles per hour, but without a significant improvement in these conditions, we won't be seeing anything like that today. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and the owner-driver alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Bottas, Max Verstappen and Norris, Leclerc, Vettel, Stroll and Pierre Gasly, Sainz, Perez, Yuki Tsunoda and Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Raikkonen, Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, Latifi, Joe. They've taken a grid penalty and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Well, certainly not promising to see your teammate with a grid
After
penalty.
the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Looks like it's going to be an Inters race. So, yeah, we'll just be making it a one stop and going. I mean, it would have been a one stop anyway, but it's going to be going to the end after that one
Our
stop.
system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap. Okay, our main competitors in this race are Hamilton and Ricciardo. Rain is imminent, rain is imminent. Be careful out there. Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now. This rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future.
Me and Hamilton both got away from the rest of the pack there by the end of the formation lap. There we go, it's going to be short. Excuse me.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Wait for everyone to come down to the grid. Get ready for those 5 red lights. For the Belgian Grand Prix, our first full wet race in the career mode. It's lights out and away we go. Do we have, I don't know if we had damage there or not. Ooh, that's not good. I do not want to do that. I think the issue is I'm not I really should be blocking Ricardo down to the bottom. Or that could work. But Ricardo gets by, and Ricardo's going to take the lead. Oh my god.
That looked bad. Are you alright?
Hamilton tried to kill me.
Right.
Hamilton attempted murder going into Eau Rouge. Come on, Hamilton. What are you doing, mate?
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
Oh, they're all piling in. They're all piling in. That's not good. Well, that's not good. Come on. Oh. Now that was just silly. That was just absurd. Oh wow, that's just terrible. At this point, I'm just having fun with crashes.
Safety car is out. We need you to reduce your pace.
Oh, did that
there's
crash?
A high amount of debris on the track.
Just wipe out both Mercedes? Oh yeah, Bottas got into him. So Leclerc, so did a bunch of other people. Oh god. So one of the Haas's, Mick Schumacher's involved? Okay, so let's look at this. This is Verstappen. That's Bottas. And he just gets wiped out. Norris somehow gets through. Leclerc does not. He gets damage. Somebody plows into Hamilton. I think it's the Aston Martin of who is this? This is Lance Stroll? Where's Vettel? Vettel's back here. Look at Stroll. He's just gonna pile into Hamilton. He's got wing damage. Vettel sort of runs into the back of him. And then Gasly sort of runs into the back of Vettel. Perez has wing damage. Both Alpines have wing damage. The problem is it's wet weather conditions. The pack's just steaming in here. And they have no idea what's ahead of them. Case in point, Mick Schumacher. No idea what was coming. Could not see what was in front of him. My teammate made it through, relatively unscathed. Yeah, that's definitely a safety car, so we will carry on. Leclerc actually has a 5-second time penalty. So, contact with Lewis Hamilton leads to a crash, wipes out him and Bottas and Mick Schumacher.
Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Ooh, the safety car came up pretty quickly. Now let's take a look at all the work that's going down in the pit lane right now. Just Nikita Mazepin coming in. We got both Alpines, we got the Red Bull coming in. Both Aston Martins coming in. I think the Aston Martins are going to be stuck because they're stuck behind the Alpines. Let's take a look at that the repairs that are going on right now. And as you can see, like the Aston Martin, they can't do anything because they're waiting for the Alpine of Ocon to go through so that Alonso can go in, and once Alonso goes in, Stroll can go out, and Vettel can come in. We'll take account of the running order once the pack gets bunched up. I think we're going to have another lap under the safety car, more than likely. Just because everyone who had to pit hasn't caught up yet. Okay, so everyone's finally caught up to the pack, so let's take a look at the running orders. So it is Daniel Ricciardo in first in McLaren. I am in second. Verstappen is third. Lando Norris is fourth. Carlos Sainz is fifth. Pierre Gasly is sixth. The Alfa Romeos of Kimi Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi are seventh and eighth. Nicholas Latifi is in the points in ninth. My teammate Guan Yu Zhou is 10th. And George Russell is 11th, and then behind them, 12th through 19th, are all the cars that pitted for crash damage and are back out on the track. Charles Leclerc, Yuki Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon, Sergio Perez, Lance Stroll, Nikita Mazepin, Fernando Alonso, and Sebastian Vettel. And of course, Mick Schumacher and the two Mercedes are out of the Grand Prix. So, it's going to be interesting to see with the Alfa Romeos and the Williams and my teammates sort of stuck in the middle of the pack. Can those, uh-oh, Kimi Räikkönen's out of the session. What happened to Kimi? He sort of dropped off the track. Oh no, Kimi with an engine failure. Kimi had an engine failure before we even went back to green. That's disastrous for Alfa Romeo. They were looking at a potential double points finish. And now they're done. At least one of their cars is done. So very unfortunate for Kimi Räikkönen. Out before he basically ran 4 caution laps, didn't even run a green flag lap, or 3 caution laps, I should say.
Okay, let's get ready to go racing again.
All right,
the safety car is in this lap. When the
I guess Räikkönen's out of the way. We're gonna be going back to racing this time.
Safety car in this lap.
So that loss of Räikkönen will elevate George Russell into the top 10. But as I was saying, it's going to be interesting with those slower cars in the middle, or the slower cars just inside the top 10. It's going to be interesting to see how all the guys with crash damage who came back out are going to be able to get through there, if at all. We're going down nice and slowly down to the restart line. And it's go, go, go. Ricciardo just shoots
Green
off.
flag.
We're back racing in the wet in Spa. Fully charged. Eras as I go totally off the track at a Rouge and Radeon. That's not good. Here comes Max Verstappen. He's got to run. In the Red Bull, side by side. Force him low. Try to do a tight apex in the corner. We're going to beat him at the end of the Kemmel Straight. We're going to hold on to P2 for the moment. Put in a purple sector 2. So I'm trying to run down Ricciardo a little bit here. Ooh, running wide. Go through the final chicane.
Good job.
Fastest lap of the race for the moment.
So far. Gap to teammate behind is 7.5 seconds.
Much better run through our Rouge and Radeon that time. We attempt to keep close with Ricciardo. You know, aside from one corner, our car is really good in the last 2/3 of the lap. This corner coming up right here. I think this is Puan? Another track that has a lot of corner names. Oh, let's see. Puan, yes, I got that right. Puan's really probably the worst corner for me, just because I have to apply a little bit more brake. Aside from that, I feel like my car is really strong in the final 2/3 of the lap, save for the exit of the final chicane. Like right through that corner, like look how much ground we gained on Ricardo. Oh, right on his gearbox. Coming through the chicane. Max Verstappen sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Oh, kind of made it through better that time. Not as good, but I'll do. Okay, once we get to the end of the Kemmel Straight, we really start gaining ground on Ricardo. Oh my god, we are almost side by side with him. Are we going to be side by side with him? Not without contact, and that was somewhat predictable. Ran wide in that corner. A little bit better. Ooh, we really gained on him there. It's one of our better corners on the entire track. Dive bomb pass! That wasn't gonna work. Now I've got Max Verstappen right behind me.
Be aware we expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
So at this rate, looks like it's going to be a 4-horse race for the win between Ricciardo, myself, Max Verstappen, and Lando Norris. Sainz has fallen off a bit. I could have taken that turn one hairpin a little bit better. I was thinking about a move to the outside, but that really wasn't going to work now, was it? Oh, I'm close enough, but I'm also too far away. And just to provide a quick update on the running order, my teammate has managed to hold on to P10, and largely the people who were in the top 10 are still there. The only one who's been able to, I guess, work himself back up there after the crash damage was Leclerc. I think the Ferraris aren't up there in the pecking order speed-wise, so that would make sense. Oh, that's not good. I don't want to run into the back of him. We're so good through that corner. Gotta be careful on the way. You really gotta be careful with the braking. Turned in too late.
Two laps until the pit window. You'll be on inters for the next stint.
Oh, here we go. Dive bomb! Ricardo's gonna crossover! And Ricardo gets the crossover on us. Wow. I thought I had the lead with Ricardo. Good job on him. He kept it in there. Stayed tight on the apex, and he retook the lead. So I had the opportunity there, and I sort of bungled it a little bit. And we have actually really pulled away. The Alphatari is really proven to be a roadblock back there. He gets Gasly. See if... It looks like he has floor damage, but I can't really tell. It also looks like it's just maybe part of the car. So I can't really tell if the floor... He has no wing damage. And the floor doesn't look that damaged, doesn't look damaged at all, though it's kind of, again, it's kind of hard to tell. He does have a bit of wing damage, though. Not significant, but yeah, he really seems to be holding up everyone behind him. And the reason why I bring that up is that I think we might have an opportunity to potentially jump Ricardo in the pits with an undercut. Mainly due to the fact that we have such a big gap to 6th place. So when I look behind us, we're going to look at the pit projection, and this is coming out in P5. So not only would we be able to go on to new tires, but we would come out in clean air. And thus shouldn't have any issues trying the undercut. The undercut.
Right, come in at the end of this lap. Confirming that we'll be fitting the intermediate tyres.
Car wants to drift to the outside there, and I tried to make an outside move, but didn't really work out. See if we try that again. Turn the brakes a little bit, stay behind Ricardo.
Okay, we can take you this lap. Couldn't receive that. Repeat the message. Understood, stopping this lap. Okay, fitting intermediate tyres next.
I'll do a mid-session save right here as we get ready for the pit stops. Gasly apparently has a 5-second time penalty. Let's see if we can see what the penalty was for. Okay, and a lot of these people actually serve their penalties during their damage pit stop phase. Vettel, Perez, Alonso. Gasly did not, though, so he has to serve a penalty. Perez pitted, Ocon pitted. Yeah, so Perez is going to have to serve, or not Perez, Gasly's going to have to serve a time penalty whenever he eventually decides to come into the pits.
Release, release. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Gasly is a long, long way behind us, so we have nothing to worry about in terms of him. So let's see what we can do with a fresh set of intermediate tires and clean air.
We'll be seeing at least 20 minutes of light rain.
Max Verstappen sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as he pits. I'm guessing Ricciardo's going to pit with him. And they all come into the pits. Well, Ricciardo and Verstappen do. Leclerc stays out. Looks like Norris will stay out as well. And this is it. Has the undercut worked for us? It has. We are by Daniel Ricciardo into the net lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. Though I'm sure they'll be catching us sooner rather than later. Actually, let's go into the pits because I believe I saw Gasly diving in. So he will be serving a time penalty here. As well as a front wing change. So it's going to be a very long stop for Pierre Gasly. I don't know why they didn't come in, or I don't know why they didn't decide to bring him in when they were under the safety car. That was a bit of a puzzling decision, to say the least. Norris heads into the pits, as does Carlos Sainz. Sainz at the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Teammate Guan Yu Zhou hits the pits.
Coming in for his stop. Okay, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast.
Safety cars out. What for? Somebody have an accident? Oh, there was wing damage from someone. Oh! Look at this. One of the Alpines, oh, both Alpines got into each other down the Kemmel Straight. Let's take a look at that again. So, I believe the lead Alpine is... And this is actually perfect, because I was going to take account of the running order here. So I'm leading the race. Ricciardo is second. Verstappen is third. Norris is fourth. Sainz is fifth. Leclerc is sixth. Giovinazzi seventh. Tsunoda's eighth. Nicholas Latifi is in ninth. And my teammate, Guan Yu Zhou, is in 10th place, followed by George Russell. And then behind him, you have the two Alpines of Alonso and Ocon. Vettel's back there. And then you have a pack of cars of Mazepin, Gasly, Stroll, and Sergio Perez. So let's take a look here. So this is Fernando Alonso. He's in. So Nicholas Latifi is leading this pack, but he's a little bit separated from Guan Yu and Russell. And the Alpines are trying to get going here. They're trying to get by the Williams cars. And on board Alonso, he just loses it. Gets into the barrier down the Kemmel Straight, and in the process collects his teammate Esteban Ocon. So not a good day for the Alpines at all. Again, let's look at it on board from Esteban Ocon. Sure this is Ocon. Yes, it is. Alonso just trying to make a move out of line and lost control. And I believe this is Sebastian Vettel. He's on board. Yeah, that's a really unfortunate incident there. I guess the debris that was strung out onto the track was enough to warrant a safety car. So 2 safety cars for accidents in one race. Certainly a eventful Belgian Grand Prix, that is for sure. Still a decent ways to go yet in the race. Though it's not necessarily what we were looking for, as we were starting to pull away a little bit, or at least holding steady our gap to Daniel Ricciardo.
Approaching the safety car. You're leading, so don't pass it. Stay behind the safety car.
So just going to take a look at the Alpines. As they slowly make the approach to the pits. They're almost a half lap behind at this point, so I don't even know if they'll get the chance to catch back up. Yeah, those Alpines are going to be nearly 2/3 of the lap behind once they get out of the pits. Just take a quick pause to check on something here. Alright.
We're coming up to the safety car now. Do not pass it. You are the leader. Follow the safety car.
Yeah, don't know how long we're going to have to wait for the Alpines to catch up, or even if we will wait for them to catch up. Because they are, where are they even? Well, Wanda though, I think this is Alonso. He just exited the pits. And he's on the Campbell Straight. And I'm, on the back straight, sort of coming back to the final chicane, so he's got a long way to go to catch up. That is for sure. keep the tires warm at this stage. So we're still a long ways back.
Light rain will stay with us for at least 20 minutes, maybe more. Light rain is here to stay.
So we're staying behind the safety car for another lap. So we have to wait for both Alpines to catch up. And at least like almost like at least a third of this race has been run under the safety car for these two incidents.
Approaching the safety car. You're leading, so don't pass it. Stay behind the safety car.
Okay, this time I'm pretty sure we should be going back to green. Alonso just caught up to the back of the pack. So what that shuffling does is that it's going to put Sebastian Vettel in P12 in a position to strike against the slower cars of the two Williams, my teammate Guan Yu Zhou, and the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi. He fully charged up the ERS, so we can use that on the restart. Alright, should be getting a message any second now saying the safety car will be in this lap.
Okay, the safety car is coming in this lap. We'll be pacing the field in Sector 3. Make sure to respect the delta until the safety car is in the pit lane.
Of course, we control the restart here. gun it.
Okay, clear.
Gonna wait to go to essentially the chicane. Or you basically waited until the chicane to go. And man, it is going to be tough trying to defend from the guys behind us. Ricardo is in the slipstream, of course, no DRS in the wet. So many blue cars left in this race, or at least blue dots. Starting to pull a bit of a gap on Ricardo here. So now it's up to a second. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
By about 0.3 a lap. Tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
Another fastest lap of the race. gap is now just over 2 seconds to Daniel Ricciardo. At the end of the day, if we're able to hold on to this, that decision to undercut Ricciardo is the move that's going to win us the race, without question. Another fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
So the top 6 really has remained the same. Giovinazzi is just holding off Tsunoda. And then it's Latifi, Vettel, who I believe is in the final points paying position. And then my teammate Guan Yu Zhou. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So Vettel is in that final points spot at the moment. Under 3 laps to go at this point. Lead is now 2.8 seconds.
This light rain is going to be with us for a while now.
Ooh. 2 laps of racing to go here in the wet conditions at Spa. Our lead is now over 3 seconds.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Alright, here we come to start the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. On the verge of converting a P2 starting spot into P1.
This is your final lap of the race.
Looks like Vettel has caught Yuki Tsunoda while for ninth, while the battle for the final point is on with the two Williams and Guan Yu Zhou. Now it looks like Gasly, I was to say the Williams, but George Russell has fallen off tremendously. And Gasly's on the verge of catching Nicholas Latifi for that final point. Williams could be seeing a point slipping between their fingers here. I would trust George Russell in that spot, but Nicholas Latifi, not too sure about that.
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
Let's see how that final points spot battle is going. Oh, and Latifi fell out. No, he didn't. He's still ahead of Gasly. For now, Latifi still has the point for Williams. Can he hang on is the question. But meanwhile, we are going to come around the final chicane. We held off two of the best to win in France. This one we had the help of the weather. We're going to come around to win the Belgian Grand Prix.
That's a race
Our
win.
second
You've
win
really been
of
great
Season
today.
1. What an eventful race as Antonio Giovinazzi was driver of the day with his first points of the season.
Here we are then, a real team effort to overcome their rivals for a memorable win here today. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
It's a heroic effort for any driver to race in conditions like these, and seeing them fight their way to the front was very special indeed. They were able to find all the grip, all the good lines, and had the confidence to get on the power to top it all off. That's what pushed them into first place here today.
The faces on our top three look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
Definitely Antonio Giovinazzi, isn't it? No matter what the rest of the field threw at him, he didn't put a foot wrong. Superb drive from him.
Let's move on to the constructors. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Alright, well that was the Belgian Grand Prix, and unfortunately for Williams, Nicholas Latifi was not able to hold on. He drops to P12. My teammate Guan Yu Zhou finishes P14. The final points go to Vettel and Gasly. And we, of course, win the Belgian Grand Prix. Constructor standings, nothing really changes. The only thing is that Alfa Romeo sort of closed up a little bit on Alpine, actually, so things are close between those two. Driver standings wise, Hamilton's lead to Verstappen comes down a little bit, but he's still a race win ahead. We sort of solidify ourselves a little bit ahead of Ricardo, and we're only 1 point behind Lando Norris, and actually not that far behind Valtteri Bottas either. Tsunoda jumps Gasly, that's a bit of a surprise. Of course, Antonio Giovinazzi gains a ton of spots by virtue of scoring his first points of the season with a 7th place finish. So right now, Guan Yu Zhou is the top car among the drivers who have not scored points, which I guess is good. Could be worse. But he's had his best results of the season, best results so far in these last 2 races, so certainly good for him.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You took the top points today. Was it a comfortable win? You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret? Things are looking up after last week, aren't they?
I guess I'll go with the arrow.
How do you think this team will be feeling after that result? Great. Well, that's everything.
So that should take care of our stuff for the interview questions. We actually gain on Ricardo in the rivalry by virtue of that win. And now we're all tied at 10 apiece. We are tied at 10 apiece. So, we won't have much time until the next race, which is the Dutch Grand Prix. Again, not looking to spend any money with Guan Yu Zhou's contract renewal coming up, I believe after Belgium, after the Netherlands, I should say. Let's see. I feel like a podium celebration party is necessary. He'll lose his 15k, but that's all right. Not a terrible amount of money. And driver promotional filming, we'll fill that up. Guan Yu Zhou's focus is down. I would like to get that up, if at all possible. First, let's see how the upgrades come in. And they both
We had a
failed.
major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for this weekend has failed. Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen.
Of course they failed. Of course they both failed. See, and that's the benefit of saving those points. And unfortunately, this means they won't be coming in again until Russia, which freaking sucks. But we must do it, so... Actually, if we go back... I think we have the ability to get an engine part that was pretty inexpensive. Or was it an engine part? Might have been a durability part. Well, so if we look at our upgrade packages, we're not having our next upgrade until after Zandvoort in the Netherlands. So that is, again, pretty unfortunate, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Nothing we can really do about it. But there you go, that was the Belgian Grand Prix, and we'll see you next time for the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort.